Hello, the Pioneer viewers. We continue to bring you all the hot developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. As you know, the war continues with all its intensity. Many crises arise due to the tense structure of war periods. Although the parties resort to different ways to find solutions to the crises, the result does not change. Russia and the Ukrainian army continue their mutual attacks. The success of the Ukrainian army in counterattack operations causes large-scale losses for the Russian army. As long as the Ukrainian army's counterattacks continue, the Russian army has no choice but to defend itself. A Ukrainian offensive can take place at any moment in any part of the front. The Ukrainian army, which is able to strike fear into the Russian army, is taking advantage of every opportunity to attack. The bad situation of the Russian army is met with reaction on the Russian front, especially in Moscow. The situation of the army worries the pro-Russians. The destruction of a Russian unit on motorcycles in an attack organized by the Ukrainian army the other day seems to have raised concerns even more. Russia's full-scale invasion attempt against Ukraine continues unabated. The Ukrainian army, on the other hand, continues to corner the Russian army by organizing counterattacks. Last day, a motorized unit of the Russian army was destroyed as a result of the Ukrainian attack. It was quite interesting that the Russian army sent motorcycle soldiers to the front line. As a result of the Ukrainian attack, the unit belonging to the Russian army was heavily damaged and destroyed. The Ukrainian army continues its attacks without slowing down. News from Europe shows that the Ukrainian army will strengthen its power in the coming days. According to the announced information, there has been an important development in the number of fighter jets to be sent to the Ukrainian army. While the developments that excite Kyiv are greeted with enthusiasm on the Ukrainian front, the Russian front is watching the events with uneasiness. The increase in the Ukrainian army's air power will make the Russian army's job more difficult. Ukrainian pilots who have completed their training are counting the days to start their duty. Now, if you are ready, let's examine the latest developments together. As the Pioneer, we continue to bring you the latest developments on the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. I also read all your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments. Tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. Let's start if you are ready. The Pioneer reports. After the attack by the Ukrainian army, footage of the attack was published on social media. The footage shows Russian troops on motorcycles being attacked by Ukrainian forces. The video, which reached thousands of people in a short time, took its place on the agenda. The video showed Ukrainian drones and Russian tanks, armored vehicles and motorcycles dealing with the attack. Accompanying images show more than a dozen motorcycles scattered around an armored vehicle along a dirt road. A briefing at the end of the video lists the Russian targets destroyed. According to data shared by Ukraine's 72nd Mechanized Brigade, the Russian army's losses include 16 tanks and 19 motorcycles. The video and images were officially published online by Anton Gerashenko, an advisor to Ukraine's interior minister, who said in a post, "Pay attention to the large number of burnt and destroyed Russian motorcycles sent into battle with heavy equipment." Gerashenko explained that Russian soldiers were deliberately sent to the meat grinder. Ukrainian officials claimed earlier in the week that Russia had lost its highest-ever artillery system in a one-month period. An official post from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported that 1,415 Russian artillery systems were destroyed in June, which it said was a record since the start of the full-scale occupation in February 2022. Kyiv also claimed that 1,160 artillery systems were destroyed in May and that Moscow's artillery losses amounted to about 14,600. British officials have also estimated that Russia's total casualties in May probably reached 500,000. Moscow's forces are pushing for significant gains in eastern Ukraine, and the Luhansk and Donetsk regions that make up the Donbass region have been subjected to constant shelling. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, Russia's tactics include going behind enemy lines and digging tunnels to launch attacks. The Ukrainian army, on the other hand, is concentrating its efforts in a different part of the front, focusing on the occupied Crimean Peninsula, which it promised to retake after the occupation. Kyiv forces are increasing their gains in the region every day. Ukraine will soon receive the first of the long-awaited Western-made fighter jets from the United States. The Defense Ministry says there are new initiatives to expand the training program for Ukrainian F-16 pilots. A meeting between Ukraine's defense minister and Kajsa Ollongren took place in the Netherlands the other day. After the meeting, officials said that the delivery of the first aircraft will take place soon. The first package will include fighter jets and part of a jet. The Netherlands has pledged a total of 24 F-16 jets to Ukraine as part of an international coalition with Denmark, Norway, and Belgium to provide Kyiv with advanced fighter jets. Ukraine will receive more than 80 jets, far short of the total number Kyiv says it needs. Ukraine's Western backers have been reluctant to promise Lockheed Martin-made jets, a much larger commitment than equipment such as tanks or artillery systems that have been included in military aid packages throughout the war. The jets would be a significant upgrade to Ukraine's air force, battered by more than 2 years of fighting against Russia's superior and larger fleet. Russia uses its planes, which fly beyond the reach of Kiev's air defenses, to launch devastating aerial guided bomb attacks on Ukraine. F-16 donor countries say that before the jets can take to the skies, Ukrainian personnel must complete training programs and the necessary infrastructure and facilities must be operational in the country. Work between Kyiv and its backers along the training programs has become increasingly apparent. According to the UK government, a group of 10 Ukrainian pilots completed basic flying, ground school and language training with the British Air Force in March 2024. He added that the Ukrainians will move on to advanced flight training with the French Air Force. A group of Ukrainian pilots are also training with the U.S. military in Tucson, Arizona and at a Danish air base. Another training center is being prepared for Ukrainian pilots in southeastern Romania. The Ukrainian army continues to finalize its preparations to use fighter jets. What do you think about the Ukrainian army's counteroffensive operations? What do you think is the most significant difference between the Ukrainian army and the Russian army? How do you interpret the operation against the Russian motorcycle unit? How do you think the balance of power will change after the Ukrainian army gets fighter jets? We care about your opinion. Please share it with us.